It's easy to think it would never happen to me. Every year, boaters are injured or even killed when their outboard strikes an underwater object like a stump or a log. Well, now you can have peace of mind knowing that you and your loved ones are safe from that danger while on the water with the leash from Precision Sonar. It's a seatbelt for your outboard that's 5 times stronger than steel. When it comes to yours or your loved one's safety, why take a chance? Get your leash from PrecisionSonar.com.
All right, good evening, Alabama Bass Nation High School Tiger Division. This is our safety briefing for 2025-26 High School Division Tiger Trail. It's our last stop of the year. You guys been through most of these, boat captains and all. I've got a special guest with me from Aaliyah here to talk about some of the off limits at the end. But again, we'll run through our main slides real quick, as we always do. And then again, make sure that you have the password at the end of the safety briefing so that if you are stopped by a staff member, you will have that available. All right. First off, again, we've already kind of done this for the year, but remember, all boat captains must have your vessel license and boater certificate on file with us, as well as your proof of insurance, $300,000 liability. This should have been verified at the beginning of the season, but if there is a new boat captain, coaches, you are responsible to verify with check-in staff that has been completed. That, again, needs to be verified during check-in. If you have a new captain, if you've already been here this season, then this does not pertain to you. But, again, make sure that you coaches and advisors of the club are keeping up with that. Our social media contact number is 334-595-9158. Send any videos you guys have during practice or anything that you have out there. They'll get those posted during official practice day and during the tournament on Saturday. But if you guys have that, we do like to have those. Also tag us in our media at Alabama Bass Nation High School on Facebook or YouTube. All right, moving on into our check-in rule. Again, failure to check in and turn in a boat flag results in disqualification of the entire school or club. So, guys, remember, does not matter if you had boat trouble or leaving the water, you must check in. And if you do not have fish, you must check in. If you do not, it will disqualify the entire club. So, again, make sure that you are visiting our check-in and ensure that you're off the list. One member of every team must view this slideshow. It's either on Facebook or the YouTube media channel at ABNHS Media. All competitors must be off of the water by 5 p.m. April 17th. This is the official end of practice. Registration will be at Live Oak Landing. Miss Page will be available Friday 17th from 4 to 5 at the pavilion on Live Oak Landing. So again, we encourage one person to pick up for the school to cut down on traffic. But if you cannot do that, you may come by the trailer also that morning, April 18th from 5:15 to 5:45. And that is a typo. That should be April 18th, which is the day of the tournament. So again, make sure that you make arrangements if you have not come by. Make sure your boat flag matches your boat number and registration card. Once you receive that from Miss Page at registration, during that time, she is also going to collect fees for launch of the tournament day. It is $5 cash. Practice day, you'd pay in the marina store. But again, make sure that you're doing that. Maximum horsepower for all outboards is 250 in this particular official practice and tournament. Also, each boat captain and one boat captain and 2 anglers have to be in the boat. If there is needing an observer, we have to have 3 people total. So sometimes if someone's sick, make sure you're making those arrangements at registration, but there must be a total of 3 people in the boat. Blast off is going to be at the dock downriver side of the boat ramp. You'll see the slide at the back that shows you where to stage. Boat flag must be secured and visible so the staff and other competitors can see it. Blast off will be approximately 6 a.m. depending on safe light conditions. We will notify you at the blast station, but be ready by 6 a.m. This is a note. We will close the ramp at 5:50 during our blast off, and you will not be able to enter until we close the line down on blast off. So again, make sure you're there early enough and get in the water to sit and wait. The approximate time would be 6, depending on safe light. It just depends on where we're at that time. But do know that the boat ramp will be shut down at 5:50 until we complete the blast off. Life jackets must be worn when the engine is running, and that includes boat captains. So anytime that engine is on and it is running, idling, no matter what, it has to have life jacket on and fastened. Keep safe distance between boats. Always maintain safe boating. Make sure that you're looking out on the points. We have a lot of people live scoping today out in channels and things. So be aware. Make sure you're looking out in front of you and watch for the guys out in the channels. There are a lot of narrow creeks, so also keep speed to a minimum, 40 to 45. And if you meet a boat on head on, you need to come off a plane because these are narrow channels. The gas line cut through. Again, if you meet those head on, come off a plane and idle past. These are too narrow to make those runs. And I'll have more from the officer speak with Corporal Jesse Peacock from Aaliyah Marine Troopers is here, and he'll speak with us here at the end on more of the off limits and some safety information. The first flight check-in is at 2 p.m. It will go for 10-minute increments, going from starting at the first flight in at 2 p.m., and then we'll go from there depending on the number of registrations. We do have no wake listed at the ramp. It's in the image as well as east side of the river. It's marked with buoys. There is a no wake trolling motor only at the 3 Mile Creek after the second. There is a no wake idle zone 1 mile upriver at the lower Pioneer Canyon. Once we get the no wake at the Bluegill restaurant, that will also be a no wake zone as well. So again, there's no fishing areas as well. Several are marked and are marked by signs out on the docks. So make sure you're paying attention to those as well. Also, we're moving on to size limits for this particular tournament is 12 inches. Again, that's on largemouth and spotted bass. So 12-inch limit. Fish is measured with the mouth closed and the tail fanned. Again, once you have that particular fish up there, he again is going to be with the mouth open and the tail fanned. So again, make sure you're going through that. 5 fish limit per boat. Fishing stops when the 6th one enters the boat. And Jesse had lost me there for a minute. I will bring him back in just a second. We're trying to get on there. Just a second. All right, moving into check-in will be at the same dock as blast off. So you must check in before going to the weigh-in. And again, you must check in even if you have no fish and turn in a boat. Again, if you have no fish. So turn in your boat flag. Make sure you're doing that. You do not want to not turn in your flag or check in with us because that is a disqualification. This is a trailered weigh-in. And this official Bass Nation weigh bags will be used. You must present a boat flag at the bump station to weigh in. Anglers tell weighmaster at the scales if you want to weigh a big fish. Again, live oak, we will have the pavilion set up, and that is where we're going to do the weigh-in, and fish will be available after at the back of the trailer for photos. All right. Blast off procedures. You're going to launch the boat at Live Oak Landing. Proceed to the staging area slowly and safely. Stage by boat number. According to the map, line up by boat number before getting to the dock to expedite. If the boat number before you is missing, continue to proceed toward the dock and approach the dock in a parallel line. Do not approach from 90 degrees. Make sure you're far enough down to get parallel. And also, anglers, do not stick your arm out the boat to keep from hitting the dock. Idle the entire length of the dock, parallel close enough for the staff to complete the boat check. And again, the boat check will consist of boat flag attached to boat in a visible sight, running lights up and on. Even if it is daylight, you must have those up and on. Live wells open and running. Life jackets on and fastened. Kill switch attached to the driver, but you do not need to pull that. Just show us that it is attached. If any of those items are lacking, you will be pulled behind the dock to correct. The last staff member at the boat check will tell you you're clear to go, and you can continue past to the end of the dock. Do not take off until you've been cleared by the last staff member. Again, high school division, you can help cull, manage fish, verbally teach and instruct. You cannot run the trolling motor, net the fish, handle any rods or reels, or any tackle. You're going to trailer the boat and park, send one angler to get a weigh-in bag. You're going to get the ABNHS bag as always. Proceed to the bump tank with your boat flag, and then present the bump flag to our bump station crew. He'll take the flag, count your dead fish, and measure and so forth. Proceed to the weigh-in and tell the weighmaster if you have a big fish. We've been having a lot of you not telling us for big fish. You must tell us the big fish before you leave the stage. Also, that helps with the computer to make sure that we're logging that correctly, and it doesn't stop our flow. So again, make sure you're doing that. While you're on the stage, this will be your time to thank family, friends, and boat captains, and then parents can take pictures at the back of the stage. All right, here's our flow for the morning. You'll come in and you'll run through this particular ramp here in the green arrows. There's three areas. Again, the only thing is we're going to shut the boat ramp down at 5:50, so make sure you're in the water and plenty of time to be ready for blast at approximately 6. If your trailer boat is not ready, go where the red arrows are. If you are ready, go in the green, and then also follow the yellow out to in the parking where you're going to park your vehicle. Staging is 1 to 51, and then boats 51 to 100 in the back there. Make sure you're downriver and ready at 6 for blast. We will do boat flag, life jackets, kill switch, and lights and live wells, and then they will release you to go. Remember, there is a no wake all the way to the east side, so make sure you're out far enough before you blast off. And this is another area than no wake. If you're coming in, check-in will be off that same dock to check in. And this is a trailered weigh-in, so again, you're going to have to drop off an angler to check-in dock there, send one up, get the truck, and get out, and then you can come down to the weigh-in. Okay, we're back here. We've got Corporal Jesse Peacock with the Leah Marine Trooper here with us to talk about some of the safety and off limits. So I'm going to let him speak to you, and then we'll have a few areas. I'll go back to my slide on the no wake, and he can answer, or I'll ask some questions, and then we can make comments there. So go ahead. I'll let you go ahead, Corporal.
Good evening, Corporal Jesse Peacock here with the Marine Patrol Division. I'm assigned down here to the Mobile, Baldwin County area, and just wanted to hit y'all up with a few safety reminders. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about life jackets. I heard in the speech a little earlier before we got disconnected that y'all are required to wear them, but make sure that everybody on board has a proper fitting, serviceable, Coast Guard approved life jacket. There are some out there that have improper labeling and does not have a Coast Guard approval. Double check your PFDs and make sure. And what we mean by serviceable is the zippers, buckles, all the snaps have to be worked properly. Life jacket can't have tears or rips in it. Also, if you guys are wearing the inflatable PFDs, make sure you're wearing them in accordance to the labeling of that PFD. Make sure what type and style it is. Make sure it has a U.S. Coast Guard approval number, and check that CO2 cartridge. Make sure that it's in date. Make sure that it is properly attached to that life jacket, because if it's not in that PFD properly, it's not going to help you in time of need. A couple other things to go over is a fire extinguisher. Make sure your fire extinguisher is good. Check the gauge on it. Make sure it's in an accessible location, not up under a ton of rod and reels and stuff. If your fire extinguisher don't have a gauge, make sure you know how to properly check it for pressure. And want to go over a couple things that vessels over 16 foot are required to have. And that's going to be a sound producing device and a type 4 throwable. When we're talking about sound producing device, it's any means to produce a sound for greater than a half nautical mile. A horn or a whistle would work. The type 4 throwable, make sure that make sure it's also a Coast Guard approved PFD. It can be the round marine buoy or the square seat cushion. Make sure you have one of them. Make sure your registrations look good. I know that's should go without saying, but that's a common mistake we see. You don't want to get a citation for a simple mistake. Cutoff switches. Most of you are probably going to be aware of the new law. Anything with greater than a 3 horsepower operating above idle, that cutoff switch has to be attached to you so that you cannot move from the operator's console. Also, our signage around here and statewide, I'm sure every one of you know what the state signs look like. On hit on dams, make sure you stay 800 feet away from dam. Those are properly placed signs, and you can get cited if you get within those, if you violate those regulated signs. All right. No wake zones. Everybody know what that looks like. No wake idle speed means just that. As slow as you can go and safely maneuver your vessel. All right. On that note, I'd like to talk about a few things down here in this area. We have a couple landings that have a narrow stretch of river, and that no wake zone is from bank to bank, buoy to buoy. That's going to be at upper and lower brines. When you see that buoy, you have to idle to the next buoy. You cannot run outside toward the western side of the river. Now, when it comes to some of the others, such as Cliff Landing and Live Oak Landing, there's plenty of river. You can run on the outside of those buoys. Just make sure you understand that and where you're operating at. I'd like to talk about some off limits areas. We have two that I'm aware of in this area. One of them's Doctor's Lake. It's further up north. Some of you may travel that far to try to catch your fish. The other one is going to be Chippewa Lake. That you just have to know how to get into it. But if you do know how to get into it, know that that is a private lake. There are no trespassing signs, and you are not allowed in there. Lastly, I want to talk about the tidal waters. Some of you people that don't fish down here, maybe not used to tidal waters, you could be fishing and catching fish Friday afternoon in a spot, and you go up Saturday morning and it's a mud flat. Y'all be careful. It don't take but a little bit of north wind to push this water out of the bay down here. Be mindful of your charts and graphs. Just because you run through it yesterday don't mean you can make it through it today. Lastly, I know they probably go over this. If you have an emergency situation, do not hesitate to call 911. Of course, let your tournament director know. Make sure you keep them in the loop. You get in touch with 911, they will contact our dispatch and get us en route. If you have any questions, I'll have my email posted here on the website. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Outstanding. Corporal, I'm gonna back us up a couple, and we'll talk for a second. Once I get back to those off limits, and then that way you can kind of where we were discussing. I had previously gone over the no wake there at the ramp. Obviously, you guys have seen that in the east side of the river marked with the buoys. And then you heard the corporal speak about around Lower Bryant's Landing. But again, also, as he stated, make sure you guys, some of these narrow channels, come off a plane if you come and head on, because these places are tight and we want you to be safe as you're out there. Go ahead.
That was something that I wanted to inject on earlier is be very mindful to operate to the right side of the channel. If you stay on your right, they stay on their right, you'll pass safely. We have a lot of dangerous bends and curves in this area, especially the Bayou Sarah area and some of these other smaller creeks and tributaries. Be very mindful of that.
Great. Yeah, that we appreciate that, and hope you captains are paying attention to this as well. Going back through that again is when he talked about the numbers. This is on our safety slide here. Our contacts are Jeffrey is the tournament director. You have his number. I'm also available. And then Daryl High is our third contact. But again, if you have an emergency, dial 911 first and then let us know. We hope not to have any issues like that, but we need to get that there immediately. The other thing, you captains, and it's a couple other things I've done over the years, be aware of how to drop a pin or a GPS point where you're at, because a lot of times we get contacts or from 911 and they can't get it. We want to be able to get that pin as quick as possible so we can kind of get to you if we need to while we're out there. We do have some boats available to us, so make sure you guys are aware how to drop a pin in your phone and put that in the number. But again, dial 911 if you're in that situation. I, again, definitely appreciate Corporal Peacock for being here. I hope you guys have gotten that information out of this. And as we talked about, we will be checking again in our safety checks on life jackets. Must be anytime the engine is running. Captains, that includes you. If that engine is running, you're having your jacket buttoned in our tournaments. The second thing I'll also say is that, remember, as he spoke, any citation is a disqualification in our rules. So again, be sure you're aware of these safety functions, and we hope to have a great tournament. Any other comments, Corporal Peacock?
One very important one that I forgot: make sure that everyone has a vessel operator's license. This includes if you're running the trolling motor. That is part of the rules. If you have a junior fisherman, as long as they are 12 and older, and there's a licensed adult, they still have to have a boating license to run that trolling motor.
Absolutely. That's a good point. We've brought that up this year. We talked about that in the beginning. You guys should have that boater certificate and or vessel license on file with us. In Alabama, most of your Alabama, so you should have a vessel license. So again, we again appreciate Aaliyah being here. They're a big support to us, and that's what we want as safely as possible with you guys out there. So if you have any further information you need, you may contact us. I will actually put a contact email up here later for Corporal Peacock in this particular safety show. We put it up so you can email if you needed to.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks, bud. All right, guys. See you on Saturday.